Month supply is what the real estate industry uses in order to determine if it's a buyer's or a seller's market. Well, how do we figure that out, and what does it actually really mean? Let's check it out. Hey everyone, Elias Acuna here at HeSellsHouses. Month supply of inventory. This is actually something that many people are confused about, sometimes agents, especially people in the public. What is it? How do you figure it out? And what does it actually mean? Well, it's actually a tool that agents are able to use in order to determine whether or not the market is actually favoring buyers or sellers. And this is something that you've probably heard before. It's a buyer's market or it's a seller's market. But again, how do we actually figure that out? Well, in the basic sense of it, a buyer's market is a market where there's more homes available than there is demand, right? So there's not enough demand to actually satisfy the number of homes that are available. In a seller's market, there's more demand than there is homes available. So again, in that situation, there's not enough homes to satisfy the number of buyers out there actually looking to purchase. Now, how does month supply actually come into this? Well, it's a formula that we use, and it's pretty simple. What we do is we look at a time period. It's typically the last 30 days, and then we look at the number of homes that were sold of that time period, and we look at the number of homes that are available, today. So if you look at the available number of homes today and divide that by the number of homes that have actually sold in the last month, that'll give you what our month's supply is. And even that sometimes can be a little confusing. Well, what does that mean, right? And really what it means is if no new homes became available today, again, if we just had to deal with the available homes today, if no new homes became available and we continued to sell at the current rate we've been selling at, how long will it take for all of the homes to actually sell? That's month supply. So for example, if you had 1 month's supply of inventory, that would mean you only have about 1 month worth of homes to satisfy the current demand. And if no new houses came on the market, then all properties would actually be sold in that 1 month. So you're probably thinking, well, that's great. And we know what the formula is, but what does that even really mean? 1 month's supply of inventory. Well, traditionally, we consider anywhere around 6 months supply of inventory to be considered what's like an even market. A market that doesn't really favor buyers or sellers. So again, what we considered even market. Now, anything that's over 6 months supply, again, meaning that there's more homes than there are buyers. So again, plus 6 months supply. Anything more than 6 months supply is going to indicate a buyer's market. All right, so that's going to be a market where the market's favoring buyers. Buyers have way more options, and sellers are actually competing to get those buyers to make offers on their house. Now, anything below 6 months worth of inventory, so minus 6 months worth of inventory, this is what's going to be a seller's market. Anything less than 6 months of inventory is going to be a situation where the market is favoring sellers. There's way more buyers available than there are homes, so sellers can be a little bit more picky. All right. Now, we've currently been in a seller's market for some time. Now, think about this. We've had a situation where anything below 6 months worth of supply is considered a seller's market. Now, anything going even less than that, if you went to 5 months, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, as the inventory goes down and that month supply goes down, that is an indication of how much stronger of a seller's market it is. So even though you may have a seller's market when you only have 4 months worth of inventory, there's not as much competition in that scenario and not as much favorable, favorable to the seller in that scenario than it is a scenario where we have 1 month's supply of inventory. Now, in the Pioneer Valley, where we do a lot of business, this is in Massachusetts, we've been experiencing a seller's market again for many years, and we're currently at a point where we have less than a month's supply of inventory in all 3 counties. This really means that, again, if no new houses were to come available and we only had to deal with the available homes today, at the current rate of sale, all properties in the Pioneer Valley would be sold in less than a month. So just to end quickly, 2 key points. Again, minus 6 months of inventory, we're dealing with the seller's market. plus 6 months of inventory, we're typically dealing with the buyer's market. And the most important thing you need to understand about this is that markets are local. Okay, so just because you may hear in the news that it is a seller's market or is a buyer's market, or you may hear about months supply of inventory, that doesn't necessarily mean that that is the case in your local area. And that's why it's important to talk to a licensed agent that can guide you through the process, show you the information about your local city or town, and tell you whether or not you're dealing with a buyer's or seller's market. Well, as always, hopefully you found this information valuable. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me on my website, HeSellsHouses.com, or text me 413-626-4097.